Hi guys, it's Stacy from Clothes Live On, and we're back with another analyzing different stuff from 2019 to hopefully improve 2020 sales. So today's video is actually inspired by Mogibeth. She is my personal friend, and she did a video about sales over $100 in 2019. And I really like the concept, so I wanted to discuss mine too. I have far less than hers. I focused only on Poshmark just because eBay I couldn't screenshot things from beyond the last 60 days and I didn't already have screenshots of those sales. So we're going to be talking about 14 Poshmark sales from 2019 that were over $100. That is all I had on Poshmark. I did have sales over $100 on Mercari and eBay, but we're just going to focus on Poshmark. It's just easier that way. And I will include screenshots here from the sold listings so that you guys can get a better idea of what the item looked like. I think these videos are valuable because over $100 is where I would like to see a lot of my sales in the future. I really like when I can sell a item for a higher price. Even if I paid up, I tend to make a lot more money. And for me, my profit point is almost more important to me than doubling or tripling my money. Because if I pay $1, it doesn't mean that I only want to sell it for $6 so that I can, after fees or whatever. So to me, if I can profit $30 or more on an item, that's really where I would like to be, because then I can value my time better in terms of a dollar amount versus what I paid for the item. Anyway, that's beyond the point. I would just like to get to a point where basically I am profiting more, and I can do that better if I'm selling items for over $100, even if I pay up. So let's jump into what sold. First thing is a Rebecca Minkoff purse. I actually don't usually pick up Rebecca Minkoff. I really like the style of this. It was quilted. It sold for $125, but this was all the way from January, so it is my oldest Poshmark sale for over $100. It actually sold on January 1st. So like I said, it sold for $125, so I earned $100 on that sale. I paid $20 for that purse, so I profited $80. So that was a really awesome sale. Next thing that sold was a Madewell X number 6 dress. It sold for $115. It was new with tags. So I earned $92. I had paid $14 for it and I profited $78. So this is what I want to talk a little bit more about. Any sort of collab pieces are always worth looking into. So Madewell also has a collab with Saison that I know about, and that line also does pretty well. So I didn't really know anything about number 6, but just Madewell X, any other brand, is worth looking into for me, and it was new with tags. I found this at a buy-sell trade store, and it was obviously well worth my money. So that's just something for you to note, that even if a brand like Madewell, where maybe you pass on it more than you once did because it's becoming oversaturated, if you're seeing collabs or things like that, it might be worth looking into more and seeing if that particular piece is worth more money. Alright, next I sold Ragan Bone booties. They sold for $110. I did give free shipping on that item, so I earned $81.21. I had paid $27.50 for them, so my profit was $53.71. So that was pretty good too. Next was my first piece from Seattle. My husband had actually found it, or he was at a thrift store and he FaceTimed me and he just rattled off the brand name, and I told him to pick it up. And if you ever find this brand, it is a huge bolo, and that is Magnolia Pearl. So these Magnolia Pearl jeans sold for $199. They're very interesting looking, but that's kind of the aesthetic of Magnolia Pearl. So my earnings on them were $159.20. I had paid $39.97. So I paid up quite a bit there, but my profit was $119.23. So I've learned this a lot. If you know what is worth paying up for, you will make really good money off of it. So obviously I can't go into any buy sell trade store and buy anything that's expensive. Same with a boutique section of a thrift store. but I try not to skip those all the time because there are some really good pieces in there that are worth the money and I'm gonna profit a lot on them. All right, next, also a Seattle find were these Rafis. They were Black Friday exclusive Rafis. So they sold for $250. My earnings were $200. I paid $40 for them, so I profited $160. Rafis always do really well for me, but it's not the first time I found rare Rafis. I this year had sold another pair of Rafis for $300 on Mercari. So Rafis can do really well if you can find a retired print. I mean, but really any Rafis will do well. Next thing was Hunter heeled boots. They sold for $125. I earned $100. I had paid $24.94 for them, so my profit was $75.06. So another awesome piece. I found these at a Salvation Army. They were behind the register, so they were like a boutique item, but I instantly was like, those seem like I've never seen anything like that before, so they're probably more rare, which they definitely are, and it worked out for me. Next, another Seattle find was a Givenchy t-shirt with a Rottweiler on it. So it sold for $150, which is insane for a t-shirt, but I do believe that Rihanna had worn that t-shirt also, so it was more popular. So I earned $120 on that. I paid $5.97, so my profit was $114.03. Next thing that sold for me was a Tory Burch clutch. It sold for $100. I earned $73.21 because I did give free shipping on that. I had paid $30 for it, so I profited $43.21. And that was a piece that had sat for a while for me, so I might not have picked that up again, but I still, in the end, made a lot of money from it, so I don't know. Next, you've seen this in other videos, I sold a Barber Coat. So it sold for $100. I earned $80. I had paid $8 for it, so I profited $72. And that was something else that I found in Seattle. I feel like a lot of these pieces were from Seattle, and we have to factor that I was personally only in Seattle for 4 weeks over the summer. My husband was there longer, but he really only found one of those pieces for me that sold for so high. So this is part of the reason I'm very excited to move to Seattle, is because I know there are really, really, really good pieces to be found there, and they seem easier to find than in Chicago. Okay, next thing that sold was the Row shoes. They were these gold loafer shoes. They sold for $120. So I earned $96. I had paid $5.24, so my profit was $90.76. Okay, next is a bad buy, but just because it's a bad buy for me doesn't mean it would be a bad buy for you. This is all price dependent. So it was only a bad buy for me because I paid too much, but if you found it at a cheaper price, I would still pick it up. So I sold a Balenciaga wallet. It was a little bit stained and it sat for a very, very long time. It ended up selling for $110. My earnings were $81.21, but I had paid $67 for it. So I only profited $14.21. At that point, like, it sat for so long that I was happy not to lose money, but should never have paid that much. That was very, very high risk with not a lot of reward in that risk, but that happens sometimes. Next thing that sold is the Jeffree Star Shane Dawson Conspiracy Palette. I sold 4 of these for $100 or more. The highest price one that I sold on Poshmark was $115. So I earned $92 on that piece. I paid $52 for them, and it sold, or my profit there was $40. So this was something I wouldn't normally like gravitate toward, but I knew that the Shane Dawson videos were getting a lot of views. I knew it was something that was a lot of people were excited about, myself included, because I have my own conspiracy palette. And the website crashed and they still sold out. So I actually had a Morphe store that I could access, and they had tons and tons and tons of the palette. So this was just a supply demand thing for me. All of my palettes sold super quickly. So I wouldn't normally invest $52 into something just to sell it for around $100, but they sold so quickly that I profited my money back very fast, and so that is why I did it. So this is not a normal situation for me, but I was very happy I did it. I made a lot of money off the Shane Dawson makeup, and I'm not sorry about it. Okay, next thing that sold were Prada wedges. These were another piece that I had for a very long time, but they eventually ended up selling for me for $115. I earned $92 on that sale. I had paid $42.50, so my profit was $49.50. I would pick up Prada wedges again. I don't think I would pay as much as I did there, just because I had a lot of money tied up in that item and it took a long time to sell, and I didn't profit a ton off of it based on what I had invested. And the last sale that we're going to talk about is a Zadig and Voltaire coat. It was like a faux fur coat. It sold for $140. I earned $112 on that sale. I had paid $24.99, so I profited $87.01. So yeah, those are the 14 pieces, with the Shane Dawson being more than one of those, but the 14 pieces that sold for $100 or more for me in 2019 on Poshmark. I hope you guys like this video. I really just wanted to highlight certain brands that might sell for a lot, pieces that you want to look out for. You notice trends, there was a lot of shoes or coats do well for me. There are certain categories that you're going to get a better price point for, and then obviously like brand matters a lot, how rare a piece is matters a lot, things like that. But I hope you guys learned something from this video, some things that you might want to look out for. Maybe you want to source a little differently in 2020 if you're like me and you want to be selling more pieces for $100 or more. But yeah, if you did like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will talk to you later. Merry Christmas. Bye.